route temperature up your foot hand.
Good job. This week we're going to go over Job.
Okay.
We're going to jump right in. There was a man in Uz.
So 1 through 5.
We've been following Israel's story through Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. But Job is a change of scenery. We aren't continuing the timeline after Esther. We're entering biblical wisdom and poetry, my favorite thing. And we meet a man named Job in the land of Uz. Before anything bad happens, Scripture makes something very clear. Job is perfect and upright. He fears God. He avoids evil. He has 10 children and continually worships and offers sacrifices to his family. Now we got to remember that. Before we ever see Job suffer, we are told who he is. So right away, Job challenges the idea that suffering must mean someone has done something wrong. Okay, so now we're going to go into why does Job love God in
So 1. 6 through 11. 12.
Then we get into this unusual poetic scene, and Come Follow Me explains that it emphasizes Satan's role as the adversary and the accuser rather than describing a literal interaction between God and Satan. And the accusation against Job is fascinating. Doth Job fear God for naught? Basically, does Job actually love God, or does he love the life God has given him? He has family, wealth, protection. Everything seems to be going right. So Come Follow Me asks us the same uncomfortable question. Why do I remain faithful to God? Would my faith still remain if the blessings changed? While he was yet speaking in Job 1,
Job 1, 13 to 22.
good job. And then in one day, everything changes. A messenger arrives. Job's oxen and donkeys are taken, and his servants are killed. And while he was yet speaking, another arrives. His sheep and more servants are gone. And while he is still speaking, another. His camels are taken. And then comes the final messenger. Job's 10 children were together when a great wind struck the house. None of them survived. And Job doesn't even have time to process one tragedy before another arrives. And he tears his clothing, he shaves his head, he falls to the ground in grief, and then he worships. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And I love this distinction. Trust did not stop Job from mourning. Faith did not require Job to pretend that this does not hurt. Now, what if the suffering reaches you? In
Through 2, 1 through 10.
Good job. But the accusation continues. The question now becomes, what happens when the suffering reaches Job himself? Job becomes covered from head to toe in painful sores. Now let's think about that contrast. In chapter 1, Job was called the greatest of all men of the East. But now he's sitting in ashes, scraping himself with a piece of pottery. And even his wife, who's grieving these losses too, asks, dost thou still retain thine integrity? And somehow Job does, which gives us another full question. Would I still trust God if obedience didn't protect me from pain? Okay, 7 days, no answers. We're going to go over
Job 2, 11 through 13.
and Job 3, 1 through 26. So Job's friends Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar arrive. Whenever they see Job, they don't even recognize him. They weep, they tear their clothing, and they sit beside him. And for 7 days, no one says a thing. Honestly, I think that's the best thing that his friends do, is not saying a word, because they didn't explain his suffering. They just sit with him. In 7 days, Job finally speaks, but he doesn't say everything's okay because I trust God. He wishes he'd never been born. He asks why he has to continue living in so much misery. And this is where something from Come Follow Me becomes so important. Questions can coexist with faith. The faithful Job from chapter 1 and the devastated questioning Job from chapter 3 are the same man.
Yet will I trust in him.
Great job. So after these first 3 chapters, we don't have an explanation for Job's suffering, and neither does Job. He was righteous, and suffering came anyway. He worshiped, he mourned, he hurt, and he questioned. But his questions did not completely extinguish his faith. So maybe the question we should leave with is when come follow me asks, why do I remain faithful to God? And if I don't understand what God is doing, can I still trust who God is? And Job's story is not finished, because later, from inside the same suffering, Job will say, though he slay me, yet I will trust in him. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Thank you for listening to the Uplifted Hand. Tomorrow we're going to go over Job 12 through 14 and 19.